will be the charm, dear listener. Or maybe the third time will be the time when you guys wise up and say, you know what?
Matthew H. asked, been watching you since 2014.
Until Vin can figure out this Spectrum nonsense, maybe you guys are going to boycott our show.
Matthew H. asked, been watching you since 2014. Just wondering when you'll...
I'm not saying you should boycott our show. I'm just saying I would understand if you did. Holy moly. Technical difficulties galore. For the four of you who are still here, Mr. Uger has just announced that Kyle Kulinski is no longer part of the Young Turks network. Now, on the one hand, a person could say, well, I mean, that kind of makes sense because Kyle is Polish and Cenk is a Turk. But that wouldn't help you because Anna Kasparian's Armenian. And if you know anything about the Turks and the Armenians, particularly the phrase Young Turks, you can kind of see my pathetic attempt at some sort of trying to figure out the mind of this individual. Like I said, Cenk's handling of this particular situation, in my opinion, is a masterclass on self-destruction. To be honest with you, I commented in the first video before the fascists took it down. I said, Jimmy is always accused of going nuclear, but in reality, it's Cenk and TYT who've gone nuclear. And what happens with the nuclear, you have the initial impact, and then you have the fallout, radiation, and the kids being born with the 5 eyes and such. And so what happened to Kyle is that he discovered recently that he's got the fallout on him, and now he's doing the best that he can to rid himself of the poison that has now become TYT of their own design, unfortunately. And yes, I did make the correlation between TYT and Chernobyl because they are. And as I said in the previous broadcast, respect to those guys. I mean specifically the victims and survivors of Chernobyl, because a lot of times we use these metaphors, and they work, right? And they're right. But let's not forget those are real human beings that we're talking about. But I do think the analogy works, right? Because this is where we are now. He's gone completely nuclear. And now, there's only one individual that I trust to have a if you're not with me, you're against me mindset. There's only one in the history of human beings that I trust. And his name is not Cenk Uygur. Now, he is Middle Eastern, but the name isn't Cenk Uygur. Aside from him, anybody else who has a if you're not with me, you're against me mentality, I'm sorry, I'm out. And it appears to me, I mean, look at that face right now. look at that face. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to Cenk. Okay, so we're going to play it again. Here we go.
The Friday Power Panel. So, I honestly, I don't know enough about Vosh, but I'll look into him more. I know that he got involved in some of these controversies, but and we have people on from the network and our guest hosts more often. Kyle is no longer part of the network, and so
okay, so there's confirmation from Cenk. Now, I stupidly, and I'm going to leave this up because I don't believe in deleting your mistakes. So I'm going to leave it up. But if you look at the second, I'm going to put all this in one video and edit it for an MA Mini. But if you look at the second video, I was like, yeah, Cenk, good job saying good luck and not slandering Kyle and poisoning the well.
He